who took the time to come out. My name's Brady and I do all of our e-commerce. So today we're going to be talking about the basics of how to get started with our website. So we're going to go through creating an account, logging in, finding products, and ordering. And then next week, or in 2 weeks from today, we're going to have a follow-up that talks about the more advanced parts of the website. So we're going to talk about like how to find replacement parts for each system, how to find the common items in each job, and how to match. So my screen.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so first thing we're going to talk about is creating an account. So you're going to click this login register button on the top right, and then you'll click register down here. So you can have as many people as you want to from your company do this, and they're all going to do the same thing. So you'll put in your account number here. And then all of these other fields are pretty self-explanatory, just like your name and all of your contact information. I'm just going to do a fake email so you can see how it works. So your customer ID is really important because that's how it's going to pull in like all of your pricing, and that's how it's going to know who's ordering. And then your email is going to be your username whenever you log in. And then from there, you'll click I accept, and then it will automatically create your account. So there's nothing that needs to go through us. It's all completely automated, and everything will be right there when you log in. And then you can log in up here. So this is what you're going to see when you log in. If you are a company that has multiple ship-to addresses, like if you have a special circumstance, then those will be the first thing that show up when you log in. Since I'm just on my account, I don't have any special ones. So now you're logged into your account. This top right that you see over here is going to be your store that you're shopping out of. So this is going to show you all of the pricing and all of the inventory for that specific store. So I'm shopping out of Freedom right now, but if I wanted to change it, I can change it to Recoleta. Access to all of our stores from there. And then if you need to get into anything that's related to like your account or just see any of your orders, then you can use this My Account tab up here. So this one is going to show you information about your account. You can set your preferred branch. Give that a second to load. So here's all the information. These are the addresses we have on file for you. This is everything to your default store. Any open orders you have or order history will also show up here.
I will survive.
And then you have your cart. So the nice thing about this is that it saves. So anything that you added to your cart in the past will still be in there. So we're going to go ahead and empty out mine. So any questions on logging in, getting into your account before we move on to the next thing?
Yes, I have a question.
What's up?
Yes, I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
So when you log into the account, is it like per company, or does everybody, like every tech has to do their own login from that one company?
It's up to you how you want to set it up. We have some companies that will just use one email address, and then they'll have all their techs log into it, or there's some other companies where every tech will create their own account. That one's really nice. Like if you have certain permissions that you want to set up, like I know we have some companies where they don't want their techs to be able to see like all of their invoices, or maybe like they want to have to approve it if they place an order. So it's just kind of whatever works best for you.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? So next thing we're going to talk about is finding products. We've got a few different ways to find products on our website. So today we're going to talk about just the basics of how to search, and then next week we'll get a little bit more advanced and we'll talk about like how to match up systems, how to figure out which parts go with what system. But for today, we're just going to look at the basic search, and there's a few different ways you can search. So you can either search by part number, or you can search by any kind of information that you have about the product if you don't have the exact part number. So we'll look at a couple of part numbers, for example, and this is going to work for the supplier's part number, for Insco's part number, and for UPC. And then it will also work if you don't have the full part number, so if you only have part of it. So we'll go through examples of each one. So this first one is going to be a model number. And all you have to do if you have the exact part number is you just put it into the search bar and you click enter, and it's going to take you straight there. So you have pricing. It looks like this one isn't in stock at the branch we're shopping out of. So this button here is going to show you every branch that has it in stock. So you can see all of the stores that would have it. And then if you needed to order out of those, or if you just wanted to see where it's available, it will show you that. The specs are going to be in this table here. Features just gives you some more information, and then documents is where you're going to find like all of your spec sheets and anything like that. And then down here we have accessories. So this is going to show you just anything that would go with that. So with this one, there's some other like system components, and then some filter bases that we have that go with that. So it pretty much just gives you all the information that you would need to know about that item.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
I got a question for you on that part. Is there any way to access to the service or the installation literature on this website?
We can get that added. So that was another thing that we were going to bring up, is any like extra information that you guys want to see on this website, you can reach out to me and I can get it added. So you said the service and installation literature?
Yeah, sometimes it's needed in the field, you know, for suppose you are not doing the installation, but you are doing a service and you need a specification for the blower motor operation, for example. And it would be great to have that at hand, because sometimes every vendor has their own specification. So it's very important for us as technicians and owners.
Yeah, for sure. I'll make a note to myself to get that added to the equipment pages.
Thank
Brady,
you.
can I add to that a little bit?
Sure.
I was going to say, on cases like that, the quickest reference is going to be your Root app. If you have the Root app, you can download a lot of that information. And now for other equipment, then of course, yes, you need to add to the website for sure. But if you're looking for Root equipment, the Root app, you can get all the parts, all the model numbers, serial numbers, manuals, everything will be on that Root app.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Daniel. So here's another example with the Insco part number. So I'm going to show you that. So that's another example. You just paste it into the search bar. It takes you straight there. So there's pricing, stock, in stock, but if you ever wanted to see what other branches have it in stock, it would be the same as on the last one. You just click this button here. And then we've got specs, and then documents. So here's an example where we don't have the full part number. So I'm just going to put in WA14AY, and that's going to show you everything that could have matched that. So that's also nice if you just have part of it. Okay, and then last example by part number, I'm just going to show you UPC. So I'm going to type the UPC into the search bar here, and then I'm going to click enter. And then that takes me straight there. And then the other way to search, which probably more of you guys are going to be doing, is if you don't have the part number of an item, but you have any kind of information, pretty much anything you can think to search by is going to be searchable. So like any kind of specs, any kind of like brands, or whatever category the item is. So we're going to look at a couple of examples here. The first one is going to be a 1/2 horsepower motor. So that shows you some options that would fall under that. And then on the left here, you can filter. So you can filter by like brand, or you can filter by any of the specs on the left here. And then last example of search that we're going to look at, I'll look for a 3-pole contactor. So then it just shows you all the contactors that would fit that. And then with all of this product information in our search, we're always trying to make it better, kind of like I said earlier. So if you ever have just anything extra that you would want to see, or like any ways that you would want to improve the search, you can always reach out to me and we'll always try to do whatever we can to make it better.
A question that I have, does it tell you like lead time on there once you order those parts?
Does it say what?
Does it have like a lead time on when the parts can be coming in or shipped out or?
No, it does not.
Okay.
So right now it just shows you what each store has in stock.
Okay.
Let me do some research and I'll get back to you and see if there's anything we can do with lead time.
But if you are interested in something that until we get that part of the function fixed, it will be one of those things you can call a branch, and the branch does have visibility on the expected lead time on that product.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Thank you. I just didn't know if that was something you could see on the website.
No, good question. Something we could look at.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is how to place an order. So you can either add things to the cart from this kind of like search page, or you can do it on the product page. So we're just going to add this one to the cart. And then you'll click view cart, or you can click your cart on the top right. And this screen is just going to confirm what branch you're ordering it out of. You can also save your cart, so you can do that if you ever need to come back. Here you'll click checkout. So this is where you're going to choose pickup or delivery. So it's just confirming that I'm picking it up at Recoleta. If you choose delivery, it's going to ask you for some extra information. So it's going to ask you for your address and the shipping method. The nice thing about this is it just pulls your billing and shipping address from your account. So if you're just shipping it like to your location, you don't have to enter it again. And then if you're shipping it like to the job site or somewhere else, then you would just uncheck this and you would add the address. So for the shipping method, we have a couple of options on our website. So you can pick between a few UPS options. If there's something you want that's not on here, like if you want it shipped to you in an Insco truck, then I'll show you in a second where we can kind of help you with that. So then from there, you'll click next. So you'll enter a PO number. The required by date is just when you need the items by. And then we have this order note field here. So this is going to show up as a note to the stores whenever you place the order, whenever they get it. So we'll just do an example. And then from there, you'll click submit order. And that's going to place your order and it will send it to our stores. I see a question in the chat. Are parts and equipment submittals available on this platform? When you say submittals, do you mean like the documents or do you mean like actually doing the warranties online?
And they're talking about specs and stuff like that.
Okay, any kind of like, if you want any kind of documentation that we can add to the product pages, then just reach out to me and I can get that added. In terms of like actually submitting the warranty, we don't currently have that, but there's something that we're working on that will let you do that.
No, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
No, that would be submittals that I'm submitting to a client with an estimate on
Oh, I
parts.
see what you're saying. We don't have something like that available right now, but we are looking into a couple of things like down the line that would allow us to do that.
That's what I mean by submittals.
Okay, that makes sense.
My next question is, are you able to ship from store to store on this?
Ship from store to store. No,
So-
we don't have that right now.
Okay, so like if there's something in San Antonio and then I need it in Austin, am I able to ship? I mean, I guess I can call, I mean, get on the phone and call, but actually on this website, am I able to do that?
Not on the website, you can't. We are working on something that will let you basically like split your order, and so you'll be able to like place different orders out of different stores. But no, right now we don't have the ship to store option.
Okay, thank you.
To help with those questions, if y'all see that little chat button on the bottom, it says chat with us live, that goes directly to the store that you're connected to. So versus calling, waiting, being put on hold, you can send a message there and somebody from the store that you're connected to will get that and they can answer you I would say a lot quicker than calling and, waiting for on hold or whatever.
Okay, thank you.
Great point.
Does this platform also show your inventory at your DNC?
No, it does not. That's something that we can definitely add to the list to look at for the future, though.
Hey Brady, I did put this is Richard Lockett. I did put a note in or a snip in the chat that submittals are available on our equipment on the website.
Cool. Thanks, Richard.
You bet.
Avelia, so about getting an order shipped out. So our stores will add the shipping cost to your order once you place it. So if you have any questions about that, then I would just contact the store where you placed it.
My question is basically this: we're based out of Houston, but we do oil field, a lot of oil field work in South and West Texas, and the Insco DNC out of San Antonio is our go-to for barred parts. So would our platform here let us know from the Houston branch what is available if I'm ordering something, if I'm in Carrizo Springs or Eagle Pass?
Are you asking about like being able to see what we have at different stores?
No, you said that if I understood you correctly, that this app would be directly connected to my home store, correct?
Yes, it is.
So the home store, it would be Houston, and Houston market is, the barred market is locked in with Johnson Supply. So when you travel outside of Houston, Insco and Gary Pacific are the two primary suppliers for barred OEM equipment. So I utilize Insco DNC out of San Antonio for that. So if I'm trying to look up a part to see if it's available, would that be looking at the inventory at my Houston home branch, or would I could look into the DNC at San Antonio?
So what you see on the website will be the inventory out of your home branch and then like all of our other branches. We don't have the ability to see the inventory at the DC right now, but that's something we can look at adding in the future.
Well, the problem being is that BARD is not in the Houston, just like the Ream and Rude is locked in with Century in the Houston area.
Right.
So I wouldn't be able to deal with that here, but once I leave this market, so my home stores would not have that information available.
Correct. So to answer that question, I know exactly where you're coming from there. If you're looking at the Houston home store, it's not going to show as available. So I think adding the DNC in here just based on this call is going to make a lot more sense for you all, because I do realize now you can change your location from Houston into one of the San Antonio branches just to see if by chance one of those branches have it available, because at that point it will give you the access to see that barred product. But I think right now, just one of the takeaways that I've noted, and I'm sure Brady has as well, is that we probably should have some visibility as to what DNC is showing for you guys that are coming out of Houston for that type of product. But you can look in San Antonio, which some of the branches have them in stock there as well. So sometimes you might be able to find it there, but if we could have a drop down option on DNC, I think that'll probably help you answer your question.
I believe so.
It does show total availability. So even if you leave it on your Houston branch, if you click total availability on an item, it'll show you all the stores that do have it in stock, minus the DC, which is what you're asking for. But it does show you any other location that does have it in stock.
Even if it's not available in the Houston market.
Correct. So right now I'm looking at a barred part, and I'm out of Houston South store, just picked a random store. They don't have it in stock, but there is a button that says total availability. I'm going to share this part number with you, Brady. That you can click, and it's going to show you all the other stores in the Insco family that have it in stock. So this Austin store doesn't have it in stock, but my Corpus Christi branch does have it in stock, and it will only show you the stores that have it in stock.
Right, so I'll just show you guys right here. So I'm on that page, and then I'll click total availability. And then it looks like Corpus has one in stock. And you would be able to see all the stores that have it there.
Okay.
But yes, we'll start working on getting the DC added, and we'll see if that's something we can do. Okay, there's no other questions, then I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. So thank you all so much for taking the time to join. As a reminder, we're going to have our next one of these in 2 weeks. So it's going to be on November 7th. It'll be the same time. So it'll be at 8:30. And we'll do the same whole setup. So all of our stores with training locations will stream the training, and then we'll have it available via a Teams link also. So make sure you join that one. There's going to be a lot of information about just how our website can make your life a lot easier. So don't miss out on that one. And I'll stick around for about 5 or 10 minutes in case anyone has questions. But again, thank you all so much for joining.